Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we wrap up today's show on this second Saturday of February. And, of course, I appreciate John Gordon of Ducks Unlimited and Ron Wong of Everywhere staying awake for this long time as we breeze.
I know, it's been
fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming.
It's been pretty wild today.
Started with Bill Dance and just worked our way on.
And Bill
down.
Cox is always good.
Yeah, Bill Cox is great. And we're switching gears here. You know, I love to talk to about birds, and I wish I could talk more about birds because I'm one of those backyard birders myself. I know many of you out there in the Mid-South area, we have a very visible club that does a lot of this and spends a lot of time at Shelby Farms, which is a great location here in Memphis to go watch varieties of birds. But an event's coming up next week. That's February the 15th through the 18th. They call it the Great Backyard Bird Count. And I've asked our good friend Pat Leonard from the Cornell Institute of Ornithology to come on with us and talk a little bit about the Great Backyard Bird Count. And Pat couldn't find anybody else, and I'd rather have to talk to Pat than anybody, unless it's
You're very kind. You save the best for last, right?
Yeah, that's right. So let's talk about it, Pat. February the 15th through 18th. Tell us about the Great American Bird Count.
Well, the Great Backyard Bird Count, as you know, and probably a lot of your listeners know, is a 4-day event that we hold annually right around President's Day here in the U.S. And we're just trying to get people to count birds at their feeders, in the woods, along the road, wherever they want to hang out, and then report what they see online to us. There's a special email, a URL for that. It says birdcount.org. And, this is the 22nd year that we've been doing this, and this is one way we get a real quick look at where the birds are and what kind of numbers, and get it all reported so it's like a snapshot of what the birds are doing at this time of year. And, of course, now it's all over the world, not just here, so it's gotten to be quite a big event.
I saw that over 100 countries combined for 6,459 species. Yep. And they submitted 180,642 checklists.
Well, you stole all my notes.
You blew me away. It blew me away.
Well, here's one you don't have. More than 192,000 people, took part in it last year. So, and Tennessee always does pretty well. Like you said, you got a lot of very dedicated birders down there. We kind of keep track sometimes by county and how many checklists people turn in, and Shelby County was the best in 2018. They had 100 species that they reported.
Really?
And that's got to be one of your hot spots, I imagine, right?
That's one of our hot spots, and we have 2 or 3 areas here. Like I said, we've got a wonderful city park, one of the biggest in the United States that a lot of the folks.
So it is the largest urban park
in the United
US,
States.
yes.
Yeah, it's a wonderful place, and a lot of people. So here's the way it works, folks. All you got to do is, as Pat said, is bird counts for at least 15 minutes on one or more days during the Great Backyard Bird Count. And then you enter your results on the website by clicking Submit Observation. And this is a pretty big deal because I'm really concerned, Pat, about the loss of backyard birds.
It's hard to tell for sure at the backyard level what's going on.
Well, I can't in mind because we have a critter problem.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what's causing it then. But
I do.
The value of a count like this is to look at the broad picture, like at a continental or countrywide scale, because really it's over time that you can get to tell because something is really a trend or it's just an anomaly for that year, because as you know, the bird populations really fluctuate a lot from year to year. And we've got an example of that this year with all the winter finches coming down from the north looking for food. So people are, may get red poles down that far, snowy owls and pine siskins and that sort of thing, which you don't always see every year.
Well, the vortex that we talked about that swept through your area, and put us in a deep freeze. What does that affect from your perspective, from the institutes? Is that a career buster, so to speak, or is it? What does it do to the birds?
It's hard to tell at this point because it just happened, and that we weren't. It'll have to take a little while to see if it has any measurable impact. I was just talking to somebody about this, and we kind of think maybe not, because neither event lasted really long.
Okay. Yes, and it was a quick turnaround. Yeah.
Yeah, and birds are so versatile, and they're used to dealing with extremes that if during the cold snap, if they just huddled under some branches or just stayed hidden in a cavity or something, they could easily get through that. If that had lasted something like 3 weeks or something, then I'd be more concerned that this was something they wouldn't survive. So it's a little hard to tell right now whether that's going to have a measurable impact on a whole population of birds.
And again, we're talking to Pat Leonard of the Cornell Institute of Ornithology. We're talking about the great backyard bird count here on Outdoors with Larry Ray. I didn't realize it started back in 1998.
That's right.
With you and with the lab, the Cornell Lab, and the National Audubon Society.
That's right.
And the Bird Studies of Canada.
Yep, they joined us a little bit later to help spread the word further in Canada.
Yeah, and this event, our numbers from last year, were they up or down?
They were up just a little bit. A lot of the growth is coming now from other countries that are getting into it, especially countries like India and Mexico and Colombia all do really well.
Really?
And they, it's really taken off in some of those countries. So that's prompting a lot of the rise in the numbers that we have. And it's something that people are into, and they can do it anytime, really, because it's built on the eBird program that we have.
Right.
And you can do that anytime, anywhere, anytime around the world. So it's really kind of a way to get into that, and I would encourage people to not just stop after the GBBC is over, but keep on doing it because that's really valuable information. So
where is the most unique place that you have among those 100 countries? What would be a country that we wouldn't expect to be on that list? Well, it's not even a country, actually. It's the high seas, people who are out on ships and things like that. They can report, seabirds that you don't often get to see because they stay so far out to sea. But people have reported from there, and in probably just about every corner. I mean, Russia, the Middle East, Europe, of course, is big. And China and South America.
Yeah, South America is good. They're really coming
Patagonia and that area.
Yep, everywhere down there.
Yeah, because I check these all the time and everything. Again, so tell our folks the information how they can do this, Pat. Well, there's a lot of information right on the website, that birdcount.org website I mentioned. We've got instructions on there if they've never done it before, and help, FAQ questions, so they can, if they're just confused about it, because there is a certain way that you should count, so we're not over-counting what we see. And I really encourage people to read about it first, so that they go in knowing how we want you to count, because it would be easy to overcount the chickadees, count too many or count too few, or one looks pretty much like another. So there are certain protocols. They're not hard, but we just want people to be aware of them, and then they can go ahead and count, and they can count for 15 minutes, for 15 hours, or however they want to do it. They can travel. Again, there are some protocols to be aware of if you're doing a traveling count. You have to kind of break it up into segments, because whenever there's a habitat change or something like that. So it's subtle, but it's important, and I think people will be good to read that. If you go to the home page, if you look at the right-hand column, there's what we call the GBBC toolkit, and there's things that you can look at there. There are instructions. There's even a slideshow you can watch, you can get a bird list for your area, for what birds would be likely to be seen in your area in February, and then work off that, and that might help a lot. And this is a great event for the family, folks. The young kids. I know that bird watching is one of the fastest growing outdoor pursuits for millenniums and all of these different kind of people. Us hunters may be dying off, but the bird people are hanging in there, which I think is wonderful. Pat, thank you for being with us again. I appreciate it, Larry. Again, that is go to birdcount.org. That's
get
all the information. Okay, thank you.
See you there, Tennessee.
All right, talk to you later. Thank you, Pat.
Bye-bye.
Pat Leonard, I'm just a fascination with that. Let me tell you about next week's show. Frank Barton. Guy Trebo will be in as our co-host on the third Saturday of the month. We're going to talk to Glenn Walker of Providence Marketing Group about the new Lure Lock Tackle Box's new promotion featuring 3 hand-picked lures by Bill Dance. It's a pretty cool little thing.
That box is really cool. I will tell you. You can put lures into it, open the lid, turn it upside down, and your baits will not fall out.
That's right. Well, you know.
It's pretty cool.
And so that'll be next week. And then we're going to wrap up the 11th Annual Davis P. Rice Memorial Youth Waterfowl Hunt we had last weekend. I can't remember how many kids they had, but one kid won 2 things. He won a shotgun and something else, the same young man. And we're going to try to talk to him from Collierville. The youth hunt was really good. I heard some good reports.
Well, actually, today is the second youth day for Tennessee.
Right on, John. Right on that. That's this morning. All the youth are out there again, and I know the weather is going to be good today. You're going to have a great time, but they're still killing ducks.
Yeah, and I don't know this for sure, but I think that Tennessee may have the latest legal duck hunting day in the nation at this point. With today, I think every other youth
it's over
day came and went.
Yeah, well, we're glad for that, for the kids' sake and everything. Shelby McCall, thank you for taking care of us. John Gordon, tell everybody Ducks Unlimited, all 12 workers over there. That how many y'all got? Over 100, I mean.
There's over 150 at headquarters.
Go to DU, walk in the obby out there, and just look around. It's one of the best stops in Memphis for tourism that gets overlooked a whole lot. Ron Wong, I'm looking at your schedule here. You'll be in Caracas. It's really rough down in Caracas when you're going down for that bass tournament next weekend. He's just looking at me wondering, what am I thinking about over here?
Well, what do you?
Yeah, no, he was at the Grizzly Jig. He's been all over. The next stop on for you will be I'm looking at your schedule.
I'm going to Scottsboro, Alabama for the kickoff of the American Crappie Trail tournament there on Lake Guntersville.
You know what else is there, don't you? Lost luggage and stuff there's in Scottsboro.
Is it in Scottsboro, or there's another little town close to it? But
anyway, it's there.
In that area.
All right.
Yeah.
So be reporting from there, and then I'm glad he's going to be out on the 2nd, the ladies fishing seminar speaker at Bass Pro Shops, Macon Road. Great.
Yeah, on March 2nd, come on out.
That's it. All right, this is Larry Ray. Remind you, I do each and every week. It doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And
God bless the USA.